Morning, welcome back. Bit of a short day today, actually. Just looking at the map here. We're traveling 167 miles from where we are now in Amarillo to Santa Rosa, New Mexico. So that's why we have a slightly later start today. We're not leaving until 9 o'clock rather than the normal 8 o'clock. So thanks a million for riding pillion with me again. Welcome back to this series. Hope you're enjoying it so far. I know I am. I am having a ball. If that's not evident in the videos, then I don't know what is. Anyway, let's get on the road. We're off. Day 6. Had a great night last night. That big Tex, I'll put the proper name on the screen for you now. That steakhouse is a brilliant stop if you're visiting here. It is a complete tourist trap. I would liken it to the equivalent of Bunratty Castle in Ireland. You know, once the tourists are there, they'll keep you there for the night. But listen, the food was great, the crack was great, and that whole marketing genius of offering you a 72-ounce steak for free if you can eat it. If you don't, you have to pay the forfeit, which is a sum of money. I was told that it was 500 quid you had to pay if you didn't eat it. We asked the waiter last night, who said it was only 72 euro or dollars that you have to pay if you don't eat it. So in my eyes, it's worth a crack. I wish I'd known that, actually. I would have given it a crack. But anyway, it was just great crack. So whilst we were there, the other half of the group, turns out they went line dancing. Of course they did. When you're in Texas, what else are you going to do? But everybody had a great night, and as a result, we're all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed again this morning. We had an hour's lie-in this morning, and I can't tell you what a difference that has made to me, and certainly a few other of the lads I was speaking to over breakfast. That extra hour, just lovely. We're actually on the way to New Mexico. We changed time zones as well today. I think we'll go forward by an hour, but not that it affects you at all. I'm just saying it out loud as a sort of mental check for me. But all is good. Okay, first stop, we're going to a crazy place called the Cadillac Ranch. I'll explain more when we get there. Here we are at the Cadillac Ranch, and I can see it in the distance ahead of me. Basically, this is 10 Cadillacs planted in the ground by a queer fella. And why? Because he could. You know, throughout the course of this series of videos on Route 66, I've said how resourceful people had to become, especially when Route 66 closed. Basically to attract the tourists, to get some form of revenue coming in. This one is way outside the box. I mean, look at this. So what's the story here, Lorraine?
This is the very world famous Cadillac Ranch.
And are you spraying it?
Yeah.
Making it new again?
Absolutely. Put your name on it.
With a can of spray paint?
Yeah, go for it.
And are there cans of spray paint just lying around here?
Yeah. The locals leave them for everybody.
Amazing. Like,
here, go for it.
What do you think of this?
Sure, it's great, isn't it? It's another wonderful attraction on Route 66.
That's a masterpiece, Lorraine.
Listen, you've no idea of it.
Have you ever considered selling your art?
I'm world famous, do you not know that? Have You've never heard of me.
Graffiti artist extraordinaire.
You can't even see Irish, look.
Actually, we'll go with it.
We know it's there. We know it's there.
What are you writing now?
Our 66 is 24, Dave. Leave our mark. It'll be gone within a day.
Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, Texas, is what happens when cars, art, and a little Texas-sized weirdness collide. Back in 1974, a group of eccentric artists called the Ant Farm, funded by millionaire Stanley Marsh III, because who else, decided to create a tribute to the golden age of the automobile. So naturally, they thought, let's bury 10 Cadillacs nose first in the dirt. The cars are tilted at the same angle as the Great Pyramid of Giza, so technically it's art and science. Beat that, Louvre. Over the years, it's become a public graffiti playground where visitors are encouraged to spray paint whatever they want. No two visits are ever the same, except for one constant: the unmistakable smell of fresh spray paint and the feeling of, who thought this was a good idea? It's weird, iconic, and oh so Texan. Right, I'm going to go one better than spraying my name on it. You know what's coming up. Another one done. It's one of the biggest tourist attractions on Route 66, this. Bonkers. Can you imagine doing that at home in Cavan? You'd be fucking sectioned. As we approach the midway point on Route 66, located in Adrian, Texas, it's hard to believe we've travelled exactly 1,139 miles from Chicago to this point. It's even harder to believe that we've still got another 1,139 miles to go before we reach Santa Monica. Obviously, this stop has become a natural landmark for weary travellers to pause and celebrate their journey. The small town of Adrian embraced this distinction, and in 1995, the famous midpoint sign was erected, declaring, "When you're here, you're halfway there." But over time, the Midpoint Cafe has gained world fame for something else.
Well, you see, this is the Midpoint Cafe, and we've burned off so much energy so far, we needed a little bit of a top-up, so we got this fabulous homemade apple pie with loads of cream. It was just superb, and we'll have it all burnt off before we get to Santa Monica. That's the plan.
And if it couldn't get any better than that, Bernie and her husband Tom actually bought mine for me as well. Winner, winner.
I know, you're just lucky. It's your lucky day.
So that's it, we're officially over the hump. We're in the second half of the journey. Unbelievable. I still feel really fresh. I still feel as though we haven't even scratched the surface of this route. But at the same time, when I think back to when we left on that rainy day in Chicago, that seems like about a month ago at this stage. Shit. Unfortunate accident. No need to go into the detail. But one of the bikes in our group has just gone over as we pulled onto the camber here. So easy to do. Happened to me the other day in the filling station. I just knew when I was stood up there next to the bike, it's that awful moment. Everybody's thinking it, nobody wants to say it. Does this mean we're going to have to get a rescue vehicle here, change bikes over, and you know, worse than that, well, the worst thing is that the riders would have to sit in a van for a day. The good news is nobody's hurt. That's the main thing. Nobody's hurt. The bike is a bit injured, but nobody else is hurt. So, okay, well, there's too many chefs in the kitchen at the moment up there, so I'm not going to go up there, but hopefully we'll be back on the road soon. And just like that, we're back up and running. This is honestly one of the things that would stop me doing this by myself, because without that backup service like we have on our team, like, you'd be stranded. You'd be in the mercy of the hire company, Eagle Rider, and any sort of breakdown trucks along the way. So that's the third bike this week to actually go over, which is nothing, I suppose, because nobody's injured. But back up and running as well. Thank God they know this code to input. Anyway, onwards. Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. I know when it happened to me the other day, of course your ego was damaged for an hour or so, and your confidence, but you soon settle back into it. I was just reading in that cafe where we had the beautiful apple tart and coffee that this is the biggest wind farm in America, in Amarillo. And here I am. I was commenting on it before we actually stopped, and it provides power for 40,000 homes. It's just massive. But it does give you an indication of how fierce the wind is out here in the flatlands of Texas. It's a great sight still, seeing these bikers in front of me. I know when I get home, riding around Ireland by myself, I'll miss this. Just as we're riding along here, just want to remind you viewers again why we're doing this. It's for the Children's Health Foundation back in Ireland, which has a few hospitals underneath its umbrella, mainly Temple Street Children's Hospital, and we're raising vital funds for those hospitals, not just in terms of buying pieces of equipment and machinery needed for the hospitals, but also doing things like housing parents in Dublin whilst their child is sick in hospital. So it's such a worthwhile cause. If you've ever had a child in hospital, you'll know exactly what that dilemma feels like. Not good. And these selfless people I'm with have done it numerous times and have full intentions of doing it numerous times again in the future. Incredible people who've raised so much money for this charity.
If you'd like to donate to the charity, or even if you fancy being a rider on the next trip in 2026, check out the links below in the video description. And to everybody who has donated so far, thank you so much. And I hope you're enjoying the ride.
Imagine back in the day, and the truck drivers passing through here. Well, the truck drivers were the rock stars of the day, passing through places like this. And when they stopped in the diners and the motels, the music would be cranked up, the girls would be brought in, and just basically to celebrate the truck drivers, as they were basically thought of as the people bringing new life to the West, which is where people were headed. I wonder how long it took people back in the 20s when it first opened to get from east to west in the Ford Model T. A lot longer than it's taken us, I bet. Okay, we're passing into New Mexico now. There we go. Land of enchantment. Looks like a refreshment stop, because we haven't long left the midway point cafe. Could do with one of those electrolyte drinks. I'm really enjoying them and the work. Like within 10 minutes of drinking one, I'm really refreshed again. Well, maybe it's mind over matter, but it doesn't matter what it is, it's working. The TA Travel Centre. Oh, some lads here as well. Irish flags there, so they're our group. Well, this looks real. It's definitely real. Look at this. Half expecting Buddy Holly to come out and play a few songs. Oh wow. This is a very interesting service station. Free car museum attached at the back. Let's go and have a little look at that, will we? For sale, look, $29,500. But imagine riding around the streets of Cavan in Ireland in this. Still can't find bloody neutral on this bike. Do your head in, I tell you. Yeah, that museum was a real throwback in time, and so far the places we're stopping at, like the tourist attractions like this, the passion just shines through from real genuine collectors, and many times the owners of these places have been there as well, and it must delight them to see our faces light up when we see things like that. Did you ever see the original film Roadhouse? Yeah, this is what places like this remind me of. This is starting to look more and more like Arizona every mile we take. Can't tell you how bad the suspension is. Every time I go over a pothole or like a cattle grid, the bike just bottoms out. Santa Rosa, 17 miles Albuquerque after that. So we're stopping in Santa Rosa tonight. I don't know where we're stopping. I don't think there's a great deal for us to do. Certainly no mischief for us to get up to. Mind you, we're a bunch of Irish bikers, so we'll always suss out a little bit of mischief. It's happened every night so far.
So, after another day in the saddle and a safe arrival in Santa Rosa, it was time to recharge my own batteries and head out late night shopping.
A successful shopping trip, lads.
We're doing deliveries up to their bedrooms, lads. I just want to jump in there.
And you guessed right, a great night was had by all. You'll also be pleased to learn that there were no shopping trolleys hurt in the making of this film. In fact, it was returned safe and sound the following morning.
Fantastic service. Well done, boys, and thank you so much. We've just worked out the route today. We've actually got a lot further to travel than our itinerary says. Itinerary says 200 miles. We've got about 280 miles to travel. So we're going to have to make some good headway. We are passing through Albuquerque today. For some reason I've always wanted to go there, and I don't know why. I can't remember why. I always wanted to go there. So I'll just be quiet and we'll try and pick up the roar of this bike when it starts up. It really does remind me of starting an aeroplane. That moment when you're just not sure she's going to bite, but then she does, and when she fires up, it's just like all your emotions fire up as well. It is a rather wonderful sound on this bike. Great experience. Okay, going to join the back of the group again, just so you can see the riders in front of me. By the way, my face is peeling off me because I very stupidly thought, well, why am I going to need sun cream? I'm wearing a helmet, and my visor's down, my sunglasses are on. When I say visor, I mean my tinted visor most of the day as well. So I thought, yeah, typical Geordie boy, I'm not going to need sun cream. I'm hard, me. The face is literally peeling off in layers. I would suspect a lot of it is going to be interstate today, but don't take my word for it. Just sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride. Chat soon. Fireworks, t-shirts, 24-hour pumps, gifts, blankets, moccasins, anything you want at this next turn off.
Unfortunately, it turned out that there were things I didn't want to encounter at this filling station.
So, did you guys escape Ireland? Is that why you're over here? Because I've heard about your politics.
We heard about yours too.
Everybody heard about yours. Isn't it crazy? We're trying to correct it.
Yeah, trying to correct it. Yeah, there's a bit of that going on everywhere at the moment. Yeah.
I take it you're going for Trump stuff.
You what?
I take it you're going.
A little bit gross. I think he's just hunted that poor deer. Yeah, he's telling everybody of his magnificent kill. So time for me to walk away from that. I'm not into the killing of animals, so forgive me, I had to walk away from that one. True what everybody said so far, it's getting better the further west we head. This is spectacular. We're not hanging around today. I think everybody's aware of the task ahead of us today. Just made a phone call back home and I hear that yet again it's torrential rain blowing a gale. I was sort of praying that my wife didn't ask me what the weather was like here. I feel a bit guilty. Terrible, darling. Can't breathe. with the heat when I put the visor down on the helmet. This landscape has taken my breath away. Look at the blades here on the trucks for the big windmills. That's massive. We're back on the historic Route 66 now. Noticed more and more people wearing cowboy hats the further west we're travelling. I'm delighted these bikes have cruise control. I really need to relax the arms now and again and get the blood flowing. I don't know what it would be like if I had the higher handlebars with my arms up here, you know. Not too sure that would work for me at all. So even the bike in front of me, the road glides, have higher mounted bars than this, the street glide. I can feel the pins and needles. I don't know if it's from vibration or just because my hand is sort of stuck in one place for a while. It's lovely having the old cruise just to get the blood flowing again. There's another rider doing that two-fingered salute. We have been told as well when we stop in places like this from now on to be very wary of rattlesnakes. They're plentiful around these parts. I don't fancy a snake bite. A snake bite was a very different thing when I was a young teenager. It was half a lager and half a cider mixed together in a pint glass. So we're just approaching Albuquerque. It's quite edgy, this place.
As a major stop along Route 66, Albuquerque boasts the longest urban stretch of this historic highway, lined with vintage motels, neon signs and iconic diners that give a nostalgic nod to mid-20th century America. The city was founded in 1706 as a Spanish colonial outpost, and it's famously home to the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta, the largest hot air balloon festival in the world, drawing visitors from across the globe every October. It's also a hub of southwestern culture, known for its Native American art, vibrant festivals, and of course, its spicy red and green chili dishes, a true foodie's paradise. However, I'm getting a very different first impression.
My God. There's a lot of sort of zombie-like figures. Everybody's, as we would say back in Ireland, he's monged. Looks like there's a lot of drugs. First impressions. There's a guys. Wow, it's an overpowering smell of weed. And by the looks of it, it's not just weed. A lot of us were wondering why we didn't stop here last night. I'm sort of pleased we didn't. People thrown up on the street. All right, Peter? Yeah. All right, Mary? Yeah. All good. A lot of property around. I see that. Yeah, I'm just talking about that. So we've left Albuquerque behind us, and we're heading on to Gallup. We're about halfway across our day today, so we've another 120 odd miles to Gallup. Haha, now we're talking. Look at this. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the landscape that I just think of when I think of Route 66. If you're the same vintage as myself, you may remember the opening of Western movies. Does this give anything away? See the cowboy on his horse. Wow, this is unbelievable. The number of times I ride a bike through Connemara, and that reminds me of the sort of western plains of America. And now I'm here. Pinch myself. So even though this is newly tarmacked, as you can see, this is the original route which 66 came. This is very bike friendly, this. No potholes or divots on this road. But yet you're still in amongst all this incredible scenery. We're making great headway today. No messing about today. In 2 days' time we've got a day off, which I think will be all very welcomed by many of us. However, there are a group of us already planning to go up to the Grand Canyon on our day off, so I'm going to bring that as a bonus video rather than part of the actual Route 66 ride, because it's technically incorrect to say that the Grand Canyon is on Route 66. We're going to be 60 miles away from where we're residing for the night from the Grand Canyon. You just couldn't not go there, you know. Who knows, when will I be back in this part of the world? So I have to do it. Interestingly, I've got a warning sign which has just come on the dashboard. Really get scared of warning signs. And there's another warning sign down here. So there's two yellow signs, that there and one there. Don't know what it means, but it seems to be riding okay. Oh, this is great. Yeah, I'm hungry now. Right.
And I need a break after bike.
Yes, exactly. We all do, I think.
So that was a delicious light lunch. I had an omelette. Everybody else was delighted with their food as well. But I wondered on the way here why my nose was so itchy, and it felt as though it was really sort of drying up and my ears were popping and everything. And I really couldn't work out what it was, whether I was just tired or dehydrated or what. I happened to mention it over lunch. It turns out we're 2,000 meters above sea level where we are right now, and over the next hour we're going to be climbing even further than that. I've just read something about it where we're going next, and apparently that is around 14,000 feet above sea level. So I've been told to watch out for that, because we might be feeling lightheaded and dizzy and whatever else goes with that sort of stuff. But any higher than that, we'll be needing oxygen. All part of the adventure. It's great crack. And the good news is I've got my riding modes back. I didn't do anything, they've just decided to come back all by themselves. Clearly the bike just needed a lunch break as well. Seriously, I couldn't live with this bike. Not for me. Look at the train there. Another one of those 10-mile long trains. That's huge. Looks incredible with that backdrop, doesn't it? I hope you can see it okay on this camera. That just looks amazing. Eyes on the road, Dave. Oh, look at the old Ford pickup. It's like something from the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeehaw! Okay, we're approaching something called the Continental Divide. Let me tell you a little bit about it. The Continental Divide, also known as the Great Divide, is a natural boundary running through North America that determines the directional flow of water across the continent. Rainfall on the east side eventually flows into the Atlantic Ocean or the Gulf of Mexico, whilst the rainfall on the west side makes its way to the Pacific Ocean. Spanning from Alaska to Mexico, this massive watershed divide passes through iconic landscapes like the Rocky Mountains and historic Route 66. It's a quiet reminder of the invisible forces shaping our landscapes, making it a unique landmark for geography buffs and a group of weary bikers from Ireland. How many times have you done this, Pat?
We've done it 10 times now. This is my 10th.
That's every time it's been running.
Bar one, 2010.
Oh my God. And can I ask you what drives you for 10 times running to do this?
Helping the children, you know, putting a bit of money in the hospital, like, just, and the buzz has been on the bike, you know, it's good.
And do you learn something every time you do it?
Every time. And there's always something we haven't seen before. It's just amazing, like, you know, you just have to keep coming back.
Do you mind me asking what age you are, Patrick?
66.
Jeepers. So that's really poignant. 66 doing Route 66.
10th time and 66, yeah.
That's incredible. As they say in Ireland, fair play to you, Pat.
No
Absolute
problem.
Legend.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Keep it going.
You can't take it all in. There's just so much to see, like, and even the scenery, like you're trying to keep your eye on the road, but at the same time, you know, take it all in. It's fantastic. I suppose just something that I always wanted to do. You know, just one of those things like you talk about a bucket list. So I said, I'll sign up, give it a go. There's no time like the present to give it a go, isn't it?
Well, I'm doing it. This is my second time doing it. Where we got involved after my nephew passed away in 2017. I'd always known about the trip from nearly the start of doing it. I'd heard about it on radio and stuff like that. So that's where we kind of got. We decided, myself and my dad, we were bikers, decided that this is where we can give back to Temple Street for the care that they gave. At the time, you know, a very tough time for the family, and they were fantastic up there, you know. So it's a wonderful way to sort of celebrate my nephew Harry's life as well, as he was a bit of a motorbike fan, a massive motorbike fan as well. He was only 2.5, like, but he loved everything, engines and cars and wheels. And we actually have a poster from when we started doing our fundraising the first time around, and it's of him. It's a photograph I took of him sitting on my bike in the shed at home. My dad says, so, you know, so we'll remember him all the way. You might see every now and again I've written Team Harry under the graffiti and bits and pieces like that. So that's what we're up to.
Thanks for sharing your personal story, Dara.
Dara and his father Jim are doing this in memory of Harry. And on that note, folks, I think I'm going to leave today there. So I'd just like to thank you so much for coming along, riding pillion. I hope you're enjoying the series so far. And stories like Dara's there is exactly why we're all doing this. Thanks once again for tuning in.